stream is on right now. We should have a stream in about another minute or so. Let me turn my front light on.
Yeah, we can see the stream now.
So you see the stream right now. I should be on the stream. There you are. And your background's much brighter today. Did you get the intensity to work?
No.
No, okay.
This is just the natural light. So with yesterday, if I had the window open just a bit earlier, the sun was just shining in my face, so I couldn't have it. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, but now it's okay. Yeah. Geoff, you want to give me a little more sound check real quick?
This is a LibriVox recording.
We're good.
All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain.
Yep, we sound good.
That's good.
So let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's our 2-shot. Now, if you can see that right now, let me adjust your shot so you're totally in it. So.
Oh. It's about a minute behind, I think, the shot is. I moved my screen
Really?
about a minute ago. Now I've just done it.
Wow, and I've got a 5-second delay.
Yeah.
Let me get on your shot here. There we go.
Oh, that looks good. Yeah.
There we go. That looks good. Okay,
What
so
have I got? What have I got just above my microphone? There's a little triangle above on my head.
Triangle?
Yeah, it sort of looks like there's a scene coming through. That's.
Oh, I wonder. Should be the green screen. Hold on. Let me go back to my shot here. Okay, I don't see it there, right?
Yeah, it's sticking right in my eye.
But not right here. Not in this shot. This is your alone shot?
Hang on, it hasn't caught up to that yet.
Okay. So on this shot, it looks fine. I don't see anything on your eye. Let me go into the green screen.
It's when we're on the Rick and Geoff shot in the monitor. That's.
Let's see. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, the full shot's okay. I can see
yeah,
that.
now I see it on the other shot. Yeah, let me see what that is. I wonder if it's a green screen issue. Let me go into my shot with the green screen real quick. And for you folks watching in the chat room, if there is anybody out there, we're kind of on an off day today. We're just fixing up some of the stuff. We had some problems with Wirecast yesterday, so we're just trying to make sure that everything now is working the way it should. So we're just doing some minor cleanups. Let me go into the green screen part of this shot. And no, that part of the green screen looks good.
At least you've moved it because it's in the middle of my head now.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on a different shot right now. So let me see.
It's hard to tell because it's about a minute behind.
Yeah, so let me see what's going on with... Let me just look at the green screen just to make sure there's no straggling something or other.
You don't realize how much you appreciate those monitors, those cameras pointing to a monitor.
I know.
What's this? Monitor this, Jeffrey. Can I do that? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, I don't see anything actually in that shot that would cause that.
Testing.
I see the microphone
Testing.
And the microphone's here, so I've got... So I'm just looking to see if anything's causing that. It's not on this shot, so let me go back to our double shot and see if something's not quite working right. Because that was fine. Everything looked
Looks like
there.
there's another layer switched on that's not switched off.
That's what I'm looking for, to make sure there's no layers. Everything there looks good, so let me get out of this one. And now I'm going to go back into the 2-shot, and shot number 4.
I know what it is. It looks like it's a corner of your monitor that's next to your microphone. I can see it in your big shot. That's what it looks like it is.
My microphone is here.
Yeah.
And if I try to reach, see, my hand disappears real quickly. I'm at the edge right there. So it's something at the edge, which would be there. That's my light. Oh, you know what?
It moved along with your frame. It's in your frame.
It's in my frame. It looks like it's in the upper edge. That's where the light is.
Yeah. Yeah. So it must be. Is the green screen just short of on that screen? Oh no, it's in that corner.
Yeah, and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it the other way. So you know what I can do to get rid of that? I can crop it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's just in that corner.
Let's see. Odd little thing, isn't it?
Your hand's disappearing inside my head.
Yeah, it's like, right there. It goes. It just, my arm hold disappears right there. And it's right up over me. So I'm not quite sure. It must be something with the green screen. Let me take a quick look. So if I click here, let's see if we've got any green screen spillage that I can see. I'm not really seeing. Let me try this. On this shot, yeah, everything looks good. Let me just crop it out. It's probably easier. Trying to figure out what's not working right here. So let's go to crop. And I just won't use my hands that way, which is good. It's my left hand. I wouldn't be using that anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go, that is on my right.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
And it's gone. That's what it was. I just cropped a little bit, and now you're free and clear of that obstacle.
Okay.
There you go. So
but it is about a minute behind the stream, so it's.
I bet you it's maybe because we're far away and Skype doesn't work that fast, but it looks clean now.
Oh, good.
Have you seen it yet?
No, it's still to catch up, but
okay.
That's what I said. I'd changed something here, and I thought I hadn't done it, but then when I went back, I'd already done it. But that's the thing that you say: don't watch the stream, or else you get very confused.
Yeah, streams are bad, or they can be bad.
Yeah, it's just gone now. Just went now. That's how far behind we are. Yep. So that's good now. Yep.
Okay.
Now you can't move though, because you just when you
if I move my hand, it disappears quickly. So I won't move my left. And I do have the videos. They're not going to be really loud, but they're very understandable.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good.
So we have the Mini, the iMac, and also the iPad 2. I'll talk about the iPad in a minute. So if you're ready to go, we can start the show.
Yep, ready.
We've got the stream is already going.
Yep.
So I will start the recording in 3, 2, and 1. Hello, everyone. I'm Rick Zanotti, and I'm joined today by Geoff Blanchard, and we are the Tech Down Over guys. And if I could find my intro, I would. Here we go. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our show. And if this sounds like deja vu to you, it is, because we did this show yesterday, but we had a real problem with our audio setup and Wirecast, and a lot of things weren't working right. And we couldn't really tell on the stream, but when we looked at it later on, we realized half the shots were not coming in with audio. So we've got that fixed. We should be okay right now. And Geoff is back with us. Now, we did lose Marisa on the way because it's Saturday over here, Sunday, Geoff's time, and she was working today on a little part-time job she's got on a weekend. So she could not make it, but we are here. We're going to talk about what we talked about yesterday, which was a lot about Apple's new release or new announcements. Now, Geoff, today I went to Best Buy. And I went to buy the iPad Air 2,
Okay.
and they didn't have it. They said it's arriving there next Friday. I went, oh. So I'm hoping to have it before I head off to DevLearn in Las Vegas. But that iPad 2 looks nice. Though, I have to admit, when I went there, I saw the 8.9-inch or 10-inch or 9-inch Kindle Fire HDX, and it was really thin. It looked great. The screen was good on it. I didn't buy it, but I was really tempted to. But I go, that's another $400. I don't think so, because the iPad Air is going to cost about $699, I think. But it was nice.
But the size of it is just fantastic with the thing that they show you of. They put two iPad Airs together for the current ones, and it matches up to the size of of just one of the current iPad Airs.
Pretty amazing.
The only thing is, like everything else that spoils it, you get these lovely thin units, and then you put a 2-inch case on it. To protect it from getting broken.
That's what I have on mine. I've got my Air with me. I've got a case, and I go, it's not that thin. Oh, right, it's the case.
That's right.
But now they have a half case. You see, mine, let me get mine, I'll show you. Mine is, so this is my iPad Air. Let me go into the full shot so you can see it better. It helps if I'm in the right place, sorry. Mine is like this, and I've got, it's a really nice, it's kind of a stand and, but it's a double. So you have it on the back and the front. The new ones are only half. It's magnetic. And
yes,
they do a really nice job. So that's the one we're looking at right now, just getting maybe the half one so I don't have to deal with both sides of it. But they're good. They're great. I love the Air. You have an Air, don't you?
I do, yes. I succumbed to from my old iPad, and I got my Air, and I thought, well, I'll get rid of the old iPad. But I just couldn't leave it alone. I read with interest before looking at the Apple release. There was an article saying about the iPad sales have declined the last 2 quarters in a row, falling 9% to only 13.3 million units sold in the most recent quarter.
Yeah,
I didn't sit down and cry about it because I thought that's still quite a nice, healthy market. But what they've got to also understand is when they came out, nobody else there was nothing else. So they had the whole market. So it's only going to get smaller for them as the Samsungs get better. And I think there was the Nexus 9, I think, was just released. Google Nexus 1, which was quite a good one on there.
That's supposed to be nice. Now, I did look at at Best Buy, I looked at the Samsung Note 4, and I looked at the Apple 6 Plus. And I have to admit, the Apple did not impress me.
It didn't?
It did not. I was almost ready to get it. I was really close. I couldn't read the dialer. It's white with very light gray numbers. And even the guy in the store, a young guy, probably in his late 20s, he's going, oh, I can't read that either. And then he goes, but you really don't want that. You want the Note 4. It's just much nicer. But it was really funny. It's really hard to read the dialer. If you're outside, you can't read it. It's just invisible. It was hard to read inside. So it's being that it's a phone, you'd think that the dialer would be something that'd be very useful. You know, they had the best dialer on earth back when they first started with the iPhone, all the way through the iPhone 4S. And then in the 5, they ruined it. They made it light color, and you can't change to a darker color. There's no option, which is so not normal well, that's pretty normal for Apple, I guess. But you'd think they would have made it a little bit more open, a little bit more flexible. Not everybody likes to see white on gray or gray on white. So I thought that was a little bit poor, the way they did that, and just not really a great choice of colors. The phone looked nice. It was thin. It's really quite thin. It did seem almost flimsy. Now, it's funny. It felt solid, but there was a slight, because it was so thin, I can see why people are complaining it's warping or it's bending. I don't put it in my pocket, but I could see where, because of the thinness, that could happen. There's just not a lot of metal to really keep it all together. It looked nice. The screen was nice. When you're not on the dialer, everything looked really good. But then I went to the 4, the Galaxy Note 4.
Yeah.
It's faster. I was playing with both launching things and moving things on screens. the Note 4 looked like it was in fast motion, and the Apple really didn't. It was a lot slower. So I'm going to go with the Note 4 at least this time. I almost succumbed back to the Apple, but I can't. Not at this point. It just didn't have what I needed. The Note 4 camera, even though the iPhone is supposed to have a better camera, I did a quick shot in the store, just a video pan. Maybe it's the AMOLED screen, but it looked nicer on the Note 4 than it did on the Apple. It could have been the AMOLED versus I think it's the IPS screen that Apple's using. The AMOLED looked richer. The colors looked a little deeper. It's hard to say because it was just a really quick test. But
I've been looking also at there, and there's a new version of Android coming out. I think it's Lollipop, is it?
yes.
Is it Lollipop, and some of the features on that seem quite good. And one of the things I like on that, you're able to use somebody else's mobile and sign in without needing your chip.
Oh,
so
interesting.
if I sign into your Note 4, it uses my account. And I thought, gee, that sounds very good feature. Whether it works or not, it's yet to be seen. But I wouldn't think they'd have something like that and not work. So
yeah,
I've come to the conclusion with which phone I'm going to get. It's whichever one I can get first. I can't get an iPhone 6 Plus. I can't even see a Note 4, Galaxy Note 4 yet here. So I'm going to say whichever one comes first, because I like both of them.
Sure.
I was tossing up, but I must admit, I do like the Galaxy. It's just got those few extra things that some of those geeky people like to have. Maybe the Apple doesn't, and it's maybe much easier, but we like to have some of the different things on there. Like one of the things in Android that I do like, it gives you a data countdown of what you've used for data downloads, which the Apple doesn't. So you can see exactly where you're going without going into a screen.
Huh, okay. Now, interestingly enough, also, we talked about this yesterday, but the keyboards are much nicer on Android than they are on the iPad. First of all, you get upper and lower case. I hate typing in all uppercase. I never know what case am I in. I have to kind of glance to make sure I'm correct. There's no haptic feedback. So as a result, when you press a letter, you have no idea what you really pressed.
But that's the thing with the Apple now, as you said, that they have succumbed and allowed third-party apps for the keyboard for the iPhone. But as you said, you get to use your third-party keyboard, but when you go to a site where it requires a password, it automatically reverts back to the Apple keyboard.
Oh,
so you have to use that one. And some of the talk around there, it says, because the third-party app, everybody can read what you're typing. Well, if you think anybody else can't it doesn't matter. If you're that worried, you just don't
use it. Right.
It's the internet. You're doing it over live. You just got to watch what you're doing, whichever one you're doing. But I think people panic too much. If they want to protect themselves, just sit in a hole, I think.
Exactly. Exactly.
You can't do that.
Now, some of the announcements that they made also at last Thursday, one of them was the iPad Mini. I'm sorry, iPad Mini. The Mac Mini.
Mac Mini, that's right.
And the Mac Mini, we have 4 of them right now in-house. They're very good for what we're doing, which is Skype machines. We use them on our shows. We have 2 in the TriCast room, 2 in here right now. And both of them do a great job actually all 4 of them do a great job of just doing Skype calls. And they actually run audio editing very well. Though my only issue with the Mac Minis are they do run hot, depending on where your room is and how well and what you're doing. All of a sudden, these loud, noisy fans kick in, which is sort of irritating. The new ones have SSDs, and supposedly they're faster. Let me show you a quick video on them. You and I probably can't hear it, but people in the stream should be able to hear it, as well as in the recording. Here we go.
And that's a computer that a lot of our customers love who are getting their very first Mac. It's called Mac Mini. Perhaps you've added one to your own home network. But we have a whole new version today. It's updated with faster processors, 4th generation Intel Core processors, faster graphics, Intel Iris and HD Graphics 5000, faster storage, PCIe-based flash storage, faster Wi-Fi, 802.11ac, and now has 2 Thunderbolt 2 ports. So it's packed with all the I/O you need in a very small design. And most important to us, it is not only compact, it is the world's most energy-efficient desktop computer, which is really great. A lot of customers choose this for their first Mac. Previously, Mac Mini started at $599. The new, faster, more capable Mac Mini starts at just $499.
Now, that's a nice little machine for $599 and for $599 you get an i7, and for $499 you get an i5. That's not too bad. They've gone down quite a bit. We used to have to pay $999 for these things, or $900. That's not too bad. They probably have maybe some other options too, but they're good. They're pretty fast. The new ones look pretty fast. And I think you mentioned yesterday, both you and I were surprised they actually are still continuing the line, but I guess it's popular. People are using them, and as a result, they're still keeping them going. So good for them. Well, they're fun.
With the announcement of all the changes, they said it's been a long time, and they've got everybody thinking the last thing that anybody thought they would update would be the Mac Mini. Everybody was saying it was going to be the Apple TV, but there was no mention of that. So the big thing I think that came out of that was the full update of the iPad range. But now they've still got the iPad Mini, the Mini 2, and the Mini 3, I think. So
yes,
and they're keeping the other one. So
well, you know what
Samsung
they're doing.
Now they said they have about 48 in their line. It's still a bit much that Apple usually are renowned for such a small, nice, tight range. But it was interesting to see that all the updates to the iPads were pretty much to bring it into the line of the iPhone 6. So they all had the fingerprint reader on them, and all just the things that are matching up with the phone. So with the payment chip in it, what is it, the NFC chip?
Yes.
And it was interesting to see with that, it has said most American banks have a cutoff of October 2015 where you'll no longer be able to swipe and sign your card. Whereas in most of the other parts of the world, including us here, your credit card has an electronic chip in it. You insert the card and you must type in your PIN number.
Right.
And so all the merchants will have to get new technology, and the banking industry have changed all the ruling on fraud that says the business with the lower technology pays for it. So if you're a merchant who doesn't upgrade to the new chip technology, you can still use it, but if somebody frauds you out of that, you're up for it. As you know, nobody checks your signature. You can put Donald, as we said yesterday, you could put Donald Duck on it. Nobody will even challenge you, but because they know that the banks will pay for it if there's any problem. But
this is actually good, because a lot of the retail stores are highly remiss in checking, and they should be held liable because, frankly, it's a training issue. If you don't train your people to be honest and to ensure that the credit cards aren't fraudulent, then they should be, because they are the first line of defense. And now a lot of stores do, but a lot don't.
And now you might be able to tell me now. I don't know. It's Saturday, getting towards Saturday evening there, and there was a Walgreens was supposed to be going live with the chip for the iPhone Pay on on Saturday today for you. So
yeah, I haven't heard any news today about it.
I thought if it fell to pieces, I'm sure you would have heard a news report about it.
Yeah, nothing yet, but I haven't listened to the news today, so I decided to make this a depression-free day. So.
That's right. And with that, there was one of the ones I was interested in seeing was the release of Yosemite. And since yesterday, I was before the show, I had downloaded Yosemite, but was a bit too scared to press a button to update, just in case it did destroy all my things and I couldn't do the show. Yeah. But I updated and there was no issues. I think about the only thing that I will have an issue with, I haven't looked at it yet, would be Parallels, because the Parallels did give me warnings months ago, say upgrade to the next version so it works on Yosemite, but I very rarely use that. But I think that's about the only one that I would need to upgrade to get it to work.
So what's new in Yosemite that you like, that was different, that looked like something useful?
Well, I don't know, it just looks so much better. I just found looking at just Safari in that, I love my Safari, but it's so much more useful and preemptive with all your favorites. When you're typing addresses in there, it comes up with your favorites straight away. Okay. But it just looks smoother. And one of the big things I like is where they said the continuity, Whereas if I've got my iPad Air and I'm working on something with connected to iCloud, when I go to my Mac now, I can take up that document again there. You can pass it over, and you can pass it over all the devices as long as you're running the latest version of ISO 8. And of course, with all these features, Apple also was touting their cloud storage, where it was, I think it was for 20 gigabytes, 99 cents per month, or 200 gigabytes for $3.99 a month. But they wouldn't.
That's pretty good. That's going to hurt Dropbox and even Google Drive.
Well, the thing is, they would not say what the 1 terabyte would. They would just had it on the slide, but they wouldn't go
that's
there.
$15,000 a month.
I know Dropbox. I've had a Dropbox account for ages, and they had one $99 a year, and it was for 100 megabytes. This is what it was originally.
Yep, we have
and
that.
Then all of a sudden, 2 months ago, that changed to 1 terabyte. So
yeah, that's not bad for $99.
Yeah, so that's checked from.
So they got competitive.
Yeah, because I think like if you're just doing photos, people like Flickr, they give you a 1 terabyte as the standard, don't they?
Yes, I think they do, and that's part of Yahoo.
But one thing, I'm sticking with my Dropbox, because there is the iCloud and all that, but they say, do you want to be linked through each device? Well, I am really with most of the things through Dropbox.
Exactly, and I thought there were some issues with Apple with iCloud, that people were getting some of their stuff shown in places they didn't want, and some other issues. There was something with, of course, people were sort of stupid. They were putting out stuff they shouldn't have, but anyway, it was getting out to other people. So there's always that security issue of, do you really want your private stuff in the cloud when it doesn't need to be?
Well, and the thing was with the iCloud, I don't mind it, but it doesn't do everything for you. It only links them, with the Macintosh documents. It's not like Dropbox, which does for everything. So I'm sticking to that. But like you said, there was that security issue with the iCloud, but it was more so not with the iCloud. It was just some people worked out some people's passwords, and that's how they did it. And what they did, they got it and actually didn't get access to their account, but got access to where it gave them the backup of their account. So when it backed up to their device, it gave them everything from there. So technically it wasn't a hack. It was somebody guessing somebody's password.
Interesting.
And if you're famous, well, they know your name. And if you'll say, well, I know what your email address will probably be, it's your name.com or whatever. Yeah. And then go through all the standard passwords. And
or in the case of a lot of actors and actors, it's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just...
And what I'm using now, I use 1Password, because I've got stuck with just what password do I use? But now with that, I can have an 18, 19-digit password, and I never know it, but I don't need to know it because it's synced on all my devices.
Everything. That's not a bad idea.
And because I just had Dropbox had an email going around in the week. Change your email address. The chance that people have hacked certain accounts. Just change it to be on the safe side. But that 1Pass, it's good because it works on Android as well, so it doesn't matter what platform you're on. So wherever you are, you've got all your passwords, and I have 1Password to get into it, and to get into it, it's the thing I type in is 27 characters long.
Wow!
But then I know what it is. It's something I know that nobody else will ever get. So we
know it's not okay. So if I was a hacker, I would say 27 characters, A through Z plus a hashtag. That would be it, right?
No, but that's what I said. It's a phrase or a saying with upper and lower case that you'll and it's random. It's got nothing to do with me, nothing that anybody would associate with me, because I thought, well, it's random. I'll just do that, but I remember that. But it's only the one thing I have to know, and it's not something that anybody will guess in a password thing. But that makes life so much easier having 1Pass, and it keeps them all together. So you say, oh, I've already got a password for that site. The amount of times I've signed up for something again to find out that I already have an account. But with the Yosemite, as I said, it just looks so much smoother. A lot of people were saying that they didn't like the new taskbar, but I've got it on here, and I just think it looks quite nice and neat. Well, we'll see how it goes in the next few days.
What did they do different on the taskbar?
So they've just flattened it a bit, but people didn't like the looks of it. But then the icons have made a little bit different. But hey, I'm not really interested in just those little look things. It does it work much better. The one thing I just hated, it's just such a little thing, was just talking about Dropbox. Dropbox has their little Dropbox, and when it's synced, it has a little green tick on it.
Yes.
It doesn't anymore in Yosemite.
So how do you know?
It's only a little thing, but it's a bit like when they changed the backup. When the backup was working, the little wheel used to turn round.
Yes.
And now it doesn't. It doesn't make any difference, but you like to sit there and watch that little wheel turning round to make sure it's working.
Right. Now, the other thing they announced on Thursday, which is kind of interesting, I'm not sure yet. It is interesting from a resolution point of view, and that is the new iMac. Let's take a look at that.
It enables people to do amazing things. And for many people, it's the most important creative tool that they use. And what we really love doing is making it better. On an iMac, the experience begins with the display. And now we're really proud to introduce the first iMac with a Retina 5K display. With 14.7 million pixels, this goes way beyond HD. It gives the ultimate all-in-one computer the ultimate display. And it means you see incredible detail on a scale that just hasn't been done before on a desktop. We started by moving to an oxide TFT, or thin film transistor panel. Oxide TFT is needed to get these many millions of pixels to charge quicker and then stay charged longer. We manufactured an oxide TFT-based display more precisely than had ever been done before. One of the great results is the vivid brightness you see across the whole screen. Communicating to all of those pixels requires a lot of brain power. In a display, it's called the timing controller, or TCON. The TCON tells every pixel what to do and when to do it. For this new Retina display, a TCON didn't exist that could do the job. We had to create it. This single, incredibly advanced chip is responsible for directing millions of pixels. Whether you're looking at photos, or text, or even editing 4K video, the picture is stunning. We've also improved the contrast ratio, so you'll get brighter whites and darker blacks from any viewing angle.
When I'm working on imagery, I need to see the details in it to make accurate judgments of color and exposure, to be able to make it look on screen exactly how it appeared to me when I saw it in reality.
For this display to be possible, millions of pixels have to be driven with more energy efficiency. We use power-saving LEDs and organic passivation, which enables a clear, accurate signal to be sent to each pixel. This dramatically increases the display's performance and image quality, while actually decreasing its power usage by 30%.
Every photograph I shoot, there's so much work to be done before it's really finished. To get there, the tools I use need to be powerful and precise. And now that I've had a chance to experience the sharpness and the resolution and the incredible tonal range in the new iMac, I just can't imagine a better tool for the work I do.
With its stunning Retina 5K display and all of this new capability, the new 27-inch iMac is by far the most amazing iMac we've ever built.
Now, it looks good. It looks actually pretty good. You and I both have the new iMacs, and we have the newer ones. We don't have that one. I think mine's about a year old now. How old is yours?
Just on about 12 months also.
So I think we're both about, I think I got mine a couple months after. Maybe I'm 10 months. I think I got it right at the end of the year. And, you know, they're great. I really enjoy them. I like my iMac. I know you do too. 5K screen, what do you think?
Excellent. As I said, what's it, 14.7 million pixels, I think they claim onto that. The thing was, I'm loving that, but I was quite disappointed that they didn't make that as a monitor. They've got their Thunderbolt monitor, which is still the same as the iMacs 2 issues ago, where you could cook your dinner on it.
Well, that was the whole idea. It was a camping implement. Yeah.
But I would have thought, but maybe their thinking is on this, they're giving you, like they said in the promo, they're giving you the screen as well as a computer with it.
They throw the computer in, they said.
And what I would have done if I was them, put a port in it so you could connect it up to your Mac Pro as well and have two, but at least it would kill two birds with one stone. But maybe they've got something in the market for later on for the Mac Pro.
Though it is interesting because in all these years, it's been at least 2 years since the thinner, or real close to 2 years since the thinner iMac. They've never come out with the new cinema screen. I keep going to the Apple stores and say, well, when, maybe, how? Nothing. They go, we don't know. And I'm surprised anybody would want to buy the old one because, frankly, it's got a loud fan. It's hot as all else. It has a nice screen, but it's bulky. It doesn't now match the new one. So for Apple, which is so conscious about everything that they put out there, this is a device that now no longer matches anything else. So they do need a brand new cinema display, and they need it now. But the other thing is that it is going to be interesting how fast it performs when you really start putting the crunch on it. There was a difference. I think the new iMac goes now up to about 4 gigahertz, which is fast. It's fast. It's a little faster than the 3.2 or 4 I've got. Is it that much faster? I don't know. The problem with Mac is they're also using AMDs, and I'm not a fan of AMD. I've had some AMD cards in the past, and they weren't as compatible or as clean as some of the NVIDIA cards. So I tend to prefer NVIDIA, and I don't know. I don't know how much video memory this one has. Is it 2 gigabytes? Is it 4 gigabytes? NVIDIA now on MSI machines and others, they're shipping 8 gigabyte video cards, and they're also SLI available. So you could put two of those video cards together. You have 16 gigabytes of video RAM. Wow.
Well, and I think what they're saying though now is manufacturers have spec'd out the speed, the gigahertz speed. There's no need for it. It's a GPU speed that people want.
Yes.
It's like on the video cards. It says everything else is working fine. You don't need to speed anything. It's the GPU that they want for the video editing. That's the thing that's driving. You could have a lower speed on the machine, but if your GPU is higher, that's where it's getting all the fun from.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
did a little test looking at the new Mac. It's saying about from $2,499. But when I put it to the bare minimum that I want, I'm up to $5,000, I think. So,
5,000?
Because if you add all the little, you want the extra memory, you want the extra speed, you want the extra this. If you want, so to start off at 2,499, but when you put everything you want on it, and say they've got a 1 terabyte internal drive, well, if they've got 3, you'll have 3, won't you?
Yeah.
Why not? and then the memory, if the bump it up to 32 from 12 or something. So.
Yeah. Now, I've heard from a lot of people that 32 doesn't really buy you that much. With 16, most applications live very well, and you don't need much more internal memory. And like you said, really the speed of these machines comes from the GPUs, and how much is being done with GPUs. I love my iMac. I love the screens on them. They're more readable than any Windows machine could ever hope to be, but they're still nowhere near as fast as the fastest Windows machines. I can build the fastest Windows machine for less than probably $3,000. Less than build it with everything in the world in it. That would cost me $10,000 from Apple. And that's why I kind of go, no.
And also with a Windows machine, you put have a great monitor on the desk, and you can hide the ugly box somewhere. You don't have to look at it.
That's true.
And like you were saying, I think one of the what was those what's that video company, MCL?
MSI?
Those laptops, very fast laptops.
MSI.
You were like
MSI.
And they were doing a all-in-one unit.
Oh, yeah. I want to get one of those. This is the MSI all-in-one.
MSI, that's correct. Yes, sorry, I had the wrong acronym.
Lenovo has one too, but the MSI is built for gaming. It's fast, which means it's built for video, and it's built for any kind of things that we do, which is media. I have an MSI Dominator laptop in the other room, and it just runs. It is. In fact, I had Leslie working on it the other day, and she goes, "Is this a laptop?" I go, "Yes, it is." She goes, "My gosh, it's faster than my desktop." And she's got a fast, i7. It's faster. And it also has 8 gigabytes of RAM. 8. A video RAM. A video RAM. Sorry.
A video, yeah. Oh,
NVIDIA 880. Yeah, you run a game on that thing, it just runs. And that's, you can't run the kind of games like on a Mac that you can on a PC. Maybe to a point, but not the same way. The physics on these big cards are amazing. They can do just pretty incredible things. And that's where Mac does. I guess Mac figures the gamers don't go there. So they don't go out of their way to really make those kind of fast machines. And if you look at the Mac Pro, great box. It's cute. It's a Tomahawk, little mini Tomahawk missile. But it doesn't run video as fast as an iMac. What does that tell you? It's good for architectural 3D, but it doesn't run video as quickly. Video editing is faster on an iMac than it is on a Mac Pro. So things are odd out there. It's a strange world. And you can put multiple monitors on an iMac. I've got it, but I don't have two of the same. I have an LG and an Asus on my, and those are really good monitors, but it doesn't match, but they look good. And it's a lot harder to put an iMac on an ARM. You got to take everything apart, and so these are little things. But I do love my iMac. It's really good. I am always torn. It's my eternal dichotomy in life. Do I keep my iMac? Do I use it for something else? Or at work, do I put in a really fast Windows machine? And I'm always torn. Like, Wirecast seems to work pretty well right now on this Mac. But a couple of times I was hitting the keys and it took a while for it to switch. So it's not, and on a Windows machine, I can't even keep up with it. It's so fast. So that is one of the things that does worry me about this. And, those are little things, but they do add up.
But as I said, it's the Mac's more so for the people who don't want to do the gaming, but it's more so these days with the things that you need is the storage, because as I said, the Mac Pro or the iMac will probably do the same thing, but it's where do you keep the things, and it's usually not in the box. And how do you share your content with the people that you're working with? That's probably the biggest thing with most computers these days.
Right. Now we have one last video. This one may be long. I may cut it short because I don't know how long it was, but this is the iPad Air 2. Now that's kind of exciting. It looks beautiful, and 18% thinner is, that doesn't sound like a lot. This is a very thin pad to begin with. So 18% is quite a bit thinner. And so here we go. Take a look at this.
It is the thinnest iPad we have ever made, just 6.1 millimeters thin. That's 18% thinner than their first iPad Air, which was already 20% thinner than the iPad before it. It makes it the world's thinnest tablet. It is incredibly beautiful to hold all day long. The progress the team has made over just the last couple of years is unbelievable. Here's the original first iPad next to the new iPad Air 2. The new iPad Air 2 is so thin, you can stack two of them and still be thinner than the original iPad. It is amazing. What the team has done to pack so much technology and performance into the iPad is unbelievable. So how did they do it? Well, let's start with the display. The display is made up of a number of components, primarily the LCD, the touch layer, and glass. And in every iPad, there's been a micro-thin layer of air between each of those layers. Well, not satisfied with that, the team has optically...
just for the sake of time, we won't go through the whole thing because that was about half of it. You can see that on YouTube or go to Apple events on podcasts and see the same thing.
I'll put that in. I'll put that in the links on my website for the show.
Yep, and thanks to Marisa for taking those videos. She got them off the web and edited them down, but that one was a little bit too long, so we don't want to do that one right now. But it looks cool. It really looks the technology, and what they're doing with the glass is what they've done with the iMac. That's how they made them so thin too. So they're bringing the same technology that they pioneered on the iMac over to the iPad Air 2. Now, and like we talked about earlier, the iPad Air 2 is fast. It's light. I would say it's still my favorite tablet. I have a Samsung 12.2-inch tablet, which I love, but it's big. And after a couple of hours, you start feeling the weight, even though it weighs less than the original iPad. Isn't that funny? 12.2 inches. But this thing doesn't weigh anything. It's really, really light. And you can sit a long time reading, watching movies, or anything on this iPad Air. And the new one looks like it's got an equal about 10-hour battery life. and I don't remember if it had better resolution. I thought it did, which.
Also, there was mentioning about the resolution, but they said it's got the anti-reflective screen, which will
Yes.
make a difference to it.
Yeah, because
But
it
what
does reflect quite a bit.
And what really blew my mind were the saying about the A8 chip, but also they said there's 3 billion transistors in that.
I know.
How small must they be? Well, I just can't imagine that amount of thing in that a product so small
I
as
know.
that. So.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's magic.
And there was also advertising in with that was a product called Replay, a free app that you get for your iPad for some video editing.
Now,
It looks like it'd be
looked
and it
cool. We didn't get the replay video. That would have been fun. Now that's coming out in about a week, I think. Maybe 2 weeks.
And it's free, so I mean, you
Oh, it
might
is
as well
free.
give it a try.
Free.
Mm.
I wonder how the French are going to make money on that one.
But it might be the same like YouTube. You know, they might have paid them a squillion to just give them their app
Maybe.
to get people on there.
Maybe.
Because I just read also as well, they've sold so far in iPads only 225 million sold. So
225 million?
yes,
That's a lot of iPads, though.
it is, isn't it? So I thought, just thinking about that, quite a lot, isn't it? So,
Wow. 225 million.
Yes, certainly. But as I said, there was lots there, and now you can see there's a lot of other people releasing things. As we said, there was the Google Nexus releasing on about the same time as the Apple things, but there will be a lot on the Apple announcement. Did with Yosemite was one of the great things with Yosemite is you can pick up your mobile phone from any device. So if you've got your iPhone, it's got to be an iPhone. So that might be another reason to go for your iPhone. Do that on your iPhone, and you click on your screen, and you can take a call on your computer, make a call.
Yeah.
And he did a test call on there, and he called one of the execs or something in Apple, and he finished off, and they was having a go at him about the Apple Watch. And he said, "Do you know what I'm looking at on my wrist now? Skin."
Yep.
He said, "Get off the phone and get working." He said,
Now-
"We're all waiting for the watch."
Now, it's
So,
interesting. I saw the new Gear from Samsung today. It's
Yeah.
thin. It looks nice. The original looked bulky. This one looked thin. It looked more elegant. So I think they're trying to become a little bit more elegant. But, somebody said, and I can't remember who it was, that the Apple 6 Plus is really almost as good as the Note 2. That's nasty.
yeah, that's this.
That's a
also-
good low blow, but that is saying something, because a lot of stuff when Apple says we're the best, the only. Well, no, it's been already in Android for the last 3 years. So they're a little behind. They're not leading like they used to. They're I would say they're in some cases fast following, and sometimes they're innovating. They innovate a little bit on the computer end. But I would say on some of the tablets, maybe the tablets, though I don't think they're innovating like they did, even though I still like the products. I think they're really cool.
But even if you think back of Apple, though, of all the times, they've always taken something and made it really good. Like
Yes.
Nokia, I remember was in the industry selling mobile phones when Nokia was hitting a bit. They had like a portable PC on a phone that the keyboard swipe did out.
Right.
10 years ago. Well,
yeah,
way
and
before that, but
now-
nobody
now-
wanted it.
Now, it is interesting. A lot of people don't realize what Nokia used to do.
Yeah, they
Which
did a
was-
fantastic thing.
Well, no, but what they used to do before they became a phone company. It's
Oh,
absolutely
okay.
hilarious. Do you know what they used to do?
I can't remember. Somebody did tell me, but I just can't
It's
remember what
fascinating.
it is now.
They were a toilet tissue manufacturer.
Yeah.
And from toilet tissue, they went to phones, and now they flushed the phones down the drain and sold it to Microsoft.
Yeah.
I guess the toilet tissue theme was still somewhere in there. But you just kind of shake your head and go, all right. Now, I have looked at the Lumia phone, the new big one that they have. It's pretty nice. I was almost tempted to go, maybe I do want to get a Windows phone. But I have one of the Lumia Windows phones that came out. I forgot the number, 810 or 910. It was okay. I think I got rid of it within a month. In fact, I couldn't get rid of it. I tried to bring it back to Verizon, and they go, no, we won't buy it back. It's not worth anything. I'm all great.
Oh.
So they wouldn't buy it back from me, so I got stuck with it. I'm not even using it. It's sitting in a drawer somewhere, uncharged. And it was okay, but it wasn't great. It's the apps suck. They're not that good. There's just aren't that many good apps. Metro is okay. I don't mind the Metro interface, but that's all you have. You can't change it. You can't do much with it. And it was a lousy phone. So the one thing I needed for was phoning, and it didn't do a very good job at phoning. It had little minute text icons that you could barely read, and if you're outdoors, you can't read them. And I was going, why don't they use the standard phone in red and green like everybody else does? No. So I don't know. It's not, the new one is nice. It's big, but you really have to be a Windows fanatic to only have that and not use anything else, because you're going to lose out on the apps. You're going to lose out on some integration, and it's okay. It's not. I don't see it as anything revolutionary.
I think the thing where it's winning out, though, is with business, because business have to have these smartphones, but when they give them to their people, they can't do a lot of apps, so they have to only use it as a work phone.
Right, but they're still only,
on
but they're still low. They're only 4% of the market, so 4 is not a very large percentage. I think Android runs the market right now, and Apple is not that close a second. There's over, I think it's 1.2 billion Android phones sold. And what is it, 50 or 70 million iPhone? It's like 100 million Macs. That's quite a bit different. Now, mind you, that's one vendor versus 10 vendors. But still, the Android market has exploded. And
well, that's what it was showing with the Apple. It was saying, Apple still leads the tablet world with more than 32% of the market.
In tablets, yes.
But that's dwindled 40%, I think.
Yeah, because they were just 2 years ago, they were 75 or 80% of the whole tablet market.
So you can say, and that's why, as I said, the others, Apple sound really impressive figures, but not when you think they had it all to themselves, and the other ones are catching up.
Yep.
Because they are doing a good, but it's good there for competition, because you get a better product out of it. Because I'm sure Apple wouldn't have a lot of these good products that they've got now if there wasn't Samsung chasing the tail. They'd say, no, they're selling well, we won't bother. And why would you?
That's so true.
Competition suits us all good. So if they keep on the toes.
Well, Geoff, we've been going on for almost an hour.
Oh goodness me, we can go on, can't we?
I think we did about 55 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe 50. I don't know. It's 5:24 right here, and but that was fun. That was a good show, and we promised not to only talk about Apple. There's other stuff happening. They just did an announcement, and some of it was interesting, but there's all sorts of good stuff that we're going to talk about in the near future, and so stay tuned. More good stuff on the way. And Geoff, what do you have any plans for any talking about next week?
No, not at the moment. I'll just keep up with the Twitter feed and my site to keep up what's going on, whatever catches my interest. But like me and you, we're always into video and audio, so I'm always looking around for new video cameras that I can't afford.
Well, here's one you might like.
The new Panasonic that's not out there for about 4,000.
I know, but that's nice. Now there is a Panasonic you might like. And it's getting very good reviews. It is the I wouldn't say lesser, the smaller brother of the GH4. I think it's the XF100, I think it is, or ZF100. Maybe it's FZ100. It is a nice camera. It's got a fixed lens. You don't change it, but it has a 25 to 400 millimeter lens built in.
Oh, good.
And I watched a video yesterday. The quality looked great. So maybe we can talk about cameras a little bit next week. We can talk a little bit about some of the new cameras coming out, as well as some of the camcorders coming out. And we'll talk about some of the portables, as well as the ones you can just take anywhere, as some of the semi-DSLR ones. I have a feeling we're going to see the demise of the huge DSLR in the near future, because people don't really want to carry that much anymore. It'll be interesting.
And also, as well, with the quality of them, people say you're not allowed to take a picture with that camera when you've got a big one, but nobody seems to bother with the smaller ones. I know. And look how better picture.
And look how good the phones are getting.
Excellent, aren't they? Well, we can talk about that next week, because I'll talk about my experience trying to look for the GH4 yesterday.
Oh, did you?
We'll talk about that next week.
Okay, we'll do that next week. That's not hard to get in Australia?
Oh, well, we'll talk about that next
Okay,
week.
sounds good. He'll leave us hanging. Anyway,
That's right.
well, all of you guys have a good one. If you're watching in the chat room, thanks for being there. And there are buttons on top and below for you to subscribe. So please subscribe or follow us. And if you're watching the recording on Vimeo, please subscribe. Let us know what you think. And we will see you all next week. Thanks, Geoff. Have a good one.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, that's really interesting. We are still live,
Yep.
but the recording didn't record. We do have it from the stream, so I'll download the stream and cut it shorter. But all of a sudden, I looked, the red button was off. I go, now why did that happen? Not quite sure. It was
wow.
recording, and then it just stopped. Okay. Unless I hit a control key by accident, there's a certain control character key that would have done, but I didn't hit anything near a control K or B, so I don't know why it would have done that. So anyway, I will just download the stream. Fortunately, the quality is not too bad, and we'll make that the show.
It can't be any worse than our other attempt, can it?
No, it's actually better. Yeah, at least we're getting audio signals this time, so that's good. And the video quality looks good. You actually look better today than yesterday. It's a lot brighter in there.
Well, the thing is, I had my light on, and with the webcam, the proper light makes you look darker. But if I had the curtain open, I had the sunlight straight in my face, and it wouldn't work.
Well, with the webcam, you need a bright backlight when you have a front light, because the webcams compensate for the brightness.
Yeah, and I couldn't have, because if you can see the thing behind me,
yes,
that white thing behind that is just stairs going down.
Yep.
So I couldn't get to anything behind it. But the normal camera, it works perfectly. But I've got to figure out how this Intensity Pro, why it's not working. But it won't. With the old, before I upgraded to Mavericks, it wouldn't work. Definitely wouldn't work.
Right.
It saw the black magic, but now I've upgraded. It doesn't even see the black magic at all.
Oh, it won't even see it
so
anymore. I wonder if Blackmagic needs an update too.
I think that probably would be, and it might be a little bit behind. So, but it worked on Wirecast, so that's why I'm not.
It works fine.
So it must be the Skype software
Something
that's
in
been
Skype.
upgraded or something. So
Now I'm wondering if we should try this one day. Have you go on Desktop Presenter?
Yes.
Just have Desktop Presenter running, and then I get a hold of your IP address. I don't know if it'll allow us to do it, but as a remote Desktop Presenter, maybe I can get your IP address, and we'll see what it does. Of course, I would have to bring in the audio too. I don't know if that would work, but it would be an interesting test. I think I'm a little afraid the latency might be too much.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes on. I'm quite interested to see with the Wirecast and that because you can do your ISO device on that, so how you would link that one up as another camera. So
Yeah, that's sort of an interesting.
interesting thing on how it all works.
Probably does it through AirPlay or something.
But it's all these things to keep us going and keep us excited with all the new tech that's about.
Yep.
And
Right.
I saw nobody was in the chat. I did ask if
Yeah, we were
anybody
too
was
far.
there,
We
but
were too
nobody-
far off. It was nobody expected it. That's why.
Well, that's right. And plus, it's 5:30 at night there, isn't it? So
It's about 5:30, so it's a Saturday. Everybody's heading out to dinner.
that's right. 11:30 in the morning here.
Yep.
It's you just caught me, and I didn't have a shave this morning. It's the only day I never have a shave.
I almost didn't. I said, I'm going to shave just in case. But that's okay. That gives you that kind of rugged tech guy
Australian.
look. The rugged look. Yeah, I'm Australian, and that's how we look on weekends.
have me cowboy hat on, the Cobra hat.
That's right. That's right. You're looking like Crocodile Dundee. Well, anyway, well, Geoff, appreciate it. I'm glad you were available, and we were able to get a show out.
I hope that didn't cost you too much to phone on the mobile because it came through.
I did it through actually Vimeo. I'm sorry, Skype.
Oh, I just don't know how it costs you. It's strange. It's never because I've got no idea. And then I thought, who's that? That voice sounds familiar.
That's funny. And
When you're not
and I called
expecting
on
it.
Skype because I figured that maybe that wouldn't cost so much. But we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see. It was a pretty short talk.
Such a long call anyway.
No, I've done the mistake of calling on. Actually, I called on the regular office phone one time to Mexico, And it was like a 35-minute call. It was $150. I went, oh, painful.
Now, Rick, did Mobile Matters, was that on Thursday, was it?
It was, but we're redoing that one. Yeah.